He is and forever will be the greatest of all time. And truthfully, out of anybody who's ever gotten that label in any sport, to me, he's the one that deserves it the most. Other championships are definitely going on right now. I'm going to have to say it looks like my pick for the NHL Finals is not going to work out too well. The Sharks did go ahead and save themselves last night in Game 3, getting that overtime win. So good for them. Maybe they win 3 in a row, and I still get my 6-game prediction. It's going to be hard for me to see that at this point, as Pittsburgh is just out hustling them at every draw. Their opportunities and shots on goals are way higher at this point. They got more energy. They're faster to the loose pucks. And where I thought you're going to see a Sharks team who's going to be a little more tough, a little more nitty-gritty, and be able to bully them a little bit and, get those tough goals, you're just seeing Pittsburgh have their way. I mean, they're skating around them. It's been impressive. Now, I haven't watched every minute of every game. I didn't get to watch the game last night. I saw the final score and kind of checked in throughout the game. And when Pittsburgh was up 2-1, I thought for sure they were going to hold on to that win. So good job to San Jose for coming back, breathing some life back into the finals. Over to our other finals. We got Game 2 going on right now, but let's touch on Game 1 a little bit. Game 1, what can we say? Cleveland had nothing. Cleveland got beat by Golden State's bench. Golden State starters, you didn't see Curry have a good night. You didn't see Thompson have a good night. Draymond didn't have a good night, right? None of them got off, and the Splash Brothers were not popping. They were not raining the threes down. The bench was killing it. And I have to take this back and give this man some credit, because before the series started, and I will make my prediction during this segment, but before the series started, I said I didn't expect the big men for either team to make really any kind of contribution in this series. Well, I guess I should just go ahead and take that back, as Bogut played a very key role in the first game. And so far tonight, he's having a great game too. He had 4 blocks in the first period. So he's definitely having an impact for Golden State. Got that one wrong, so I'm going to put that out there. Cleveland didn't have no energy the other night. I don't know what it was, but you saw Golden State go up big. Cleveland made a little bit of a run there in the second half, right? Midway through the third quarter, all of a sudden they got a 1-point lead at like 69-68. And then it's almost like the team thought they were good. Like, okay, we got it back now. Now we can just play the style we were trying to play. Let's post them up, pop it out, see if we can get a shot, maybe a driving layup. And right when they did that, the energy dropped. LeBron's energies dropped. Energy dropped. Golden State's energy, they took advantage of it. They put their foot on the throat at that point and said, game over. You guys had us running. You guys got us out of our game a little bit. Momentum had shifted, and then you stopped. You tried to go back to a half-court game that didn't work the entire first half. You don't have anybody crashing the boards. It wasn't good basketball by Cleveland. It wasn't good coaching by Lou. He didn't make any adjustments. Everybody wants to show the clip of Kerr breaking the clipboard and saying, oh, look at his new coaching style. Well, he didn't make adjustments either. His adjustments were he rode out the bench. He let them do what they were doing, and he didn't mess with it. He let Livingston and them boys go out there and control the game. He let Barbosa use his speed and make contact and get fouls. He let Varejao go out there and flop around like a wet seal. Now, tonight, you see a little bit different of a game going on right now. You see Cleveland, after all the 2 days off, saying we want to push the ball. We want to push. Well, you still see him not really pushing it that much. You still see LeBron trying to post up and dish out. You don't see them crashing the boards. You see them out of position. It's like they're waiting for the 3 to happen so they can decide what they're going to do. And if they're going to wait to see if Golden State gets in a rhythm and they're going to watch to see how good they can shoot the ball, they don't have a chance. I'm sorry, in my opinion, if the Cavaliers do not win tonight, they won't win this series, period. And I know it's game 2, but this is a very key game. In a 2-2, 1-1-1 series, they're not going to come back in a game 5 or game 7 and beat them in Golden State. Now, Golden State, if they win tonight, if you see them pull away more than what they are right now at 52-44, if they stretch that to a 70-54, all of a sudden you see a 77, and that starts getting 20 points, forget about it. This game's over. The series will be over. No matter what Cleveland does, they can come up and put out a good fight in a game or here or there. With this Golden State team, with the way they can shoot the ball, and I know there's a bunch of people who are hating on Golden State right now. They don't like all the shooting. They don't like all the press they're getting. Well, when it comes to any sport, if you don't like what a team's doing, it's your job to stop them. So if your team's not stopping them, if nobody else is stopping them, if they're winning 73 games in a watered-down league, they won 73 games, period. If they manage to come back after coming back against Oklahoma City, and they manage to beat LeBron James in this team where he finally has healthy weapons around him, this is the deepest team he's ever had in the finals. Now, he's only had a team that's been favored in the finals maybe twice, maybe 3 times, depending on how you argue a series. And this is his 7th trip with the deepest team, and he's still not favored. But with the hype around that, if Golden State does win this championship after 73 wins, everybody has to just go ahead and let them have the crown. Yes, right now the Bulls have it. It's like in the NFL, the Dolphins have the crown until somebody else wins every regular season game and the Super Bowl. Finishes out an entire season, then the Dolphins pass the crown. If Golden State wins the championship this year, the Bulls pass the crown. They will have the single greatest season in the history of the NBA. Now, it might not be the best team. They might not be able to beat that Bulls team in a 7-game series. I don't like comparing generations to generations because they don't play the same style of game. The rules were different. What you were allowed to get away with then, you can't do now. All you can say is in this generation, what Golden State's doing is very special. It's as special as what that Bulls team did. They have every bit of a chance with as young as they are if these guys decide that they don't have to have max contracts to stay together and chase rings. They say they all about the rings. Well, their contracts are going to start coming up here over the next season or 2. If they all about the rings, they're going to keep this nucleus together. You're going to be able to fill in a little pieces around the bench here and there to keep the nucleus together. And if they do that, I can see them winning 6 out of the next 10 if they stay healthy. Why not? With the way they play at their age, they can keep running people out the gym, keep shooting them out. Don't even get to half court. We'll just pass the ball in and shoot from where we at. Will people like that? No. A lot of people don't like it. They say it's not real basketball. Again, if you don't like it, stop them. Otherwise, sit back and enjoy the show. They're up right now. Let's see if Cleveland can do something in the second half. I hope they can. I would like to see a nice, tight series. I mean, Kyrie led all scorers in Game 1 and had a bad game. LeBron has to do more. Love has to figure out how to do something at the block. He's getting dominated down low right now in both games. That's not going to get Cleveland, the land, their first championship in 50-whatever years. It's not going to happen that way. Moving on, some unfortunate news for Broncos fans and really just football fans. Early this morning, Aqib Talib, cornerback for the Denver Broncos, was shot in the leg in a Dallas club. Let's hope he's okay. Let's hope he'll be able to play this season. Not just for the sake of, him getting to play or for Broncos fans having their starters back, but, he's a good player. He's a young guy. Hopefully this doesn't jeopardize his career. Who knows what the details are, how involved he was. I haven't seen too much of that at this point. I'm sure those details will come out And, he was supposed to be in D.C. tomorrow meeting the president. So I guess that might not happen now. So that's really too bad for him on that level. I don't know if you guys saw this, but WWE wrestler, former UFC fighter Brock Lesnar is coming back. Supposedly he has a fight scheduled at UFC 200. Opponent yet to be decided, so it's probably going to be some low-level bonehead who he'll probably tear apart with just his wrestling ability. I don't know how long he's been training for this. It was just a few months ago I saw him, or a month ago or so, he was on ESPN doing interviews, being a security guard. And I'm pretty sure he's still active in the wrestling thing. So it's got to be some low-level guy that they can just put out there to sell tickets with his name. I can't imagine he's going to have any top-level opponent, or that it's really going to be anything more than an exhibition, honestly. Who knows? Maybe he's been fighting or training again for a while behind the scenes. The Diaz-McGregor fight is official now. They have both signed up for UFC 202. I'm going to go with Diaz again on this one. I'm sorry, I had him in the first fight. I think he's going to take the second fight by the same way. I think it'll be a submission. You might not see the submission until the third round because McGregor he's going to be focusing it in on submission defense, obviously, at this point. Probably a little more than he did the first time, where he thought he could just come in and walk over him and knock him out. So you might see, a little more defense before Diaz finally gets him, but I do think Diaz gets him again, which would be horrible for McGregor. This is a guy who he needs to win to back up his banter, to back up his Ali-esque pre-fight talk. Here's another guy who can benefit from the greatest of all time, Mr. Muhammad Ali. McGregor's whole persona wouldn't be going on right now if it wasn't for Muhammad Ali. So just another connection here at the end of the show to that. One other UFC note. You saw last night, Bisping knocks out Rockhold in the first round to finally win his first title. This is a guy I can remember, I think, on the very first series of UFC Tough Enough, I thought was going to be a champion sooner than later. And now 10 years later, he's finally getting there. He's been a great fighter the whole time. He's taken on anybody that they put in front of him and stepped in on short notice to fight guys, which is what he did on this fight as well. And he stepped in and he caught him. He caught the guy looking past him, didn't take him seriously, and he knocked him out in the first round. So good for him. Good for Bisping on the win. Good for him becoming champion. He's going to be able to sell pay-per-views as well. Good personality on the guy. Hard-nosed fighter out of the UK. So good for Bisping. Here's my prediction. I said I would give it today. I'm picking Golden State in 6. I think Cleveland's going to give him a good fight at least twice in this series. They have to. I mean, Toronto was able to put up a good fight twice. So I got to think Cleveland can. I'm taking Golden State again in 6. I know I should have made a prediction beforehand. I wanted to see how game 1 would go. But Golden State in 6, they're up big. Let's see how the second half goes. Follow us at Facebook, Real Deal Sports Talk with KP. Follow us on Twitter, Real Deal KVP. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for listening on this Sunday night. I appreciate you guys. Please message me on Facebook. I'm loving the interaction. And until next time, stay real.